Welcome to the welcome to the Tableau learning session, data visualization learning session. Today we'll be using Excel to do some decluttering exercises. Now, the objective of today is to transform an unattractive visualization into a effective and visually appealing one. So this is a unattractive visualization, and we want to transform into a effective and visually appealing one. Our task today is to demonstrate decluttering techniques using concepts discussed in the previous models or previous sessions. We'll use those techniques to do some decluttering. The source of data is from US Department of Agriculture, USDA, and this data is publicly available. Now let's dive into it. Here I have replicated the USDA's cylindrical 3D chart using underlying dataset in Excel. And this data I have replicated in the best way possible. Now let's begin the decluttering process. First of all, what we see here is that there is a 3D effect in the chart. We want to remove that. We want to remove the 3D effect and create a 2D data such that they reduce the noise and the they reduce the noise and make the data more readable. Now let's create a 2D chart to start. Now let's create 2D chart. Here, this is the chart we have, and let's insert the chart. We want to create chart something like this. This is a chart we can create. Now you see that the colors are in blue color. What we want to do is that in earlier chart created by USDA, we see the intense blue, and what has been automatically created is a light blue. But we want to just not use a default. We want to use something that's more ours. So let's use gray and make it more pleasing to the eye. Let's use something like a light gray here. That should do the trick. Now, next step is to optimize the bandwidth. You see that the bandwidth is kind of really small. So we want to adjust the thickness of the bandwidth such that there is right balance between the white space and the width of the bars to ensure clarity without overcrowding. Do you know how to do this? Think about it. Let me show you how. Let me format the series data and let me decrease the gap width. And let me decrease the gap width to the 100% and around 112%, and that should do the trick. Let's do a little bit more. That should do the trick. Now let's move on to simplify and create it, make it more readable. To do this, we want to replace the x-axis and put a label to each bar such that You don't have to look at the x-axis all the time to see what value the bar represents. So we'll remove the x-axis first of all. Let's do that, and we'll just delete that. And now let's add the label, data labels to the each bar. We have added the data labels now. Now the data is more readable because we exactly know what each bar represents without looking at x-axis. Now let's sort the bars in descending order such that we don't have to look at the, it's easier to compare. So this is distance you always in a sorting order, but let me just verify. Let's try to make sure that this is in descending order. Let's sort the data. Let's sort the data here. Now to sorting the data, we need to go here and we need to say that sort by MSA largest smallest. We are doing descending order, so let's do it once again. Smallest to largest. Now this should do the trick. Now it is sorted from the smallest value to the largest value. It is easy to compare now. Now there are some reference lines here. So remove those reference lines too because it is more clutter and we don't need this more clutter here. So remove those reference lines and we want to say no line and reference line has been removed. Now let's take a look back and see what we have done. We have eliminated all the unnecessary elements and ensure that each component serves the chart's objective. And we should repeat the process until we remove each and every detail that we don't need anymore. Let's add the chart title here. That is a retail food price inflation by MSA. So this is the final chart we have. Now let's summarize what we learned today. We we created a new presentation or new chart using existing data from USDA, and this chart was more clear than what was presented by USDA, and it served the purpose of the chart. So the important lesson here is that we should not clutter the visualization by removing additional artifacts that doesn't serve the purpose of the chart. So that's all for today. I will see you next learning session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.